The internet is filled with bros and babes telling you to leave your 9-to-5 job. And I'm worried. They sell entrepreneurship and self-employment as the ticket to freedom, as the only true path to wealth. And people working their 9-to-5 jobs are just a bunch of sheeple that can only function as a brainless cog in this society. True winners stick their fingers to their greedy bosses, quit their jobs, build a business, and spend the rest of their days hanging out in an infinity pool in Thailand. I feel like this narrative on the internet really reached its peak during the pandemic, when people realized that office jobs aren't necessarily as safe as they used to be, especially during an international crisis. And many people saw that as an opportunity to fulfill their entrepreneurial fantasy and take the leap into self-employment. And this, of course, can be an absolutely fantastic thing. However, I have come across the fact that many people who left their jobs around 2020, 2021 are now returning to their 9-to-5s. And this is easy to understand if you compare what's sold about entrepreneurship and what the reality is. This is what they tell you about building a business.
If you hate your job, listen to me. I have a reminder for you. Let's pretend you spend the rest of your life climbing whatever corporate ladder you're on right now. When you're in your 70s or 80s and you're thinking back on your life and thinking about your career and all the things that you did and didn't do you really want to have to come to terms with the fact that you spent 30 or 40 years climbing a corporate ladder you didn't even give a shit about? I'm only saying this because I love you. You could be traveling the world right now. You could be fulfilling your literal lifelong dreams right now. You could be doing whatever you feel like doing every day right now. And you're wasting your life away because you keep talking yourself out of doing it. Quit.
And this is what might be the outcome of building a business.
Quit my business, I've quit my passion, because being a businesswoman and being self-employed was actually doing so much internal and mental damage. It was causing me anxiety and depression. And quite frankly, I did not turn my passion into a business for those reasons. I'd say since March, business hasn't been businessing, which is a shame, and it's okay, but it got to the point where it was a struggle and my back was against the wall and I had to make things work. But if you're an online service provider, coming online and marketing your stuff, like, you cannot do anything when you're coming from a place of, I gotta make this work. I've realised that I don't want to be a businesswoman. I just want to do my service, because my service is amazing and it's very, very much needed in this world. But what I don't want to do is being so online on social media all the time, coming up with content, doing the right copy so it activates buyers to fucking click on your link. I don't want to do marketing. I don't want to be having to come up with offers all the time and always thinking 10 steps ahead. Q1, Q2, Q4. I don't give a fuck about that. What I give a fuck about is doing my passion, helping people, being of service. I don't want to be all those other fucking jobs. Why can't I just do my service? But no, I've got to wear 10 different fucking hats, and that is causing me stress and anxiety. So that's why I've quit my business. And when I said my farewell goodbyes on Insta and my email, I'm keeping my email because, like I said, I really like that. I got so many messages saying, I feel the same. So I'm like, God damn, I need to speak about this, because you feel so alone, especially, if none of your friends are doing what you're doing. It's draining. So yeah, just know that if you too are an online service provider and you agree with everything that I've said, you are not alone. You are not alone.
With this video, I want to dial down the delulu and share the trululu about what you're getting into if you leave your 9-to-5. Let's start with some misconceptions about what will happen if you leave your office job and start your own business. You're told that you will have more time to spend traveling or however you want to spend your free time. You're told that all the work that you will do will not feel like work because you're going to love everything that you do and you're following your passion and your dreams. And that basically all of your wishes that are currently held back by your 9-to-5 job will become reality. And while all of this is absolutely possible if you really play your cards right, it is just not the reality of what happens as soon as you quit your job. What will actually happen is that instead of having one job, you will have plenty. All the functions that are normally separated out in a company are now covered by you. Sales, marketing, production, finance, administration. These are all hats that you have to be ready to wear when you build your own business. More often than not, it's going to be just you leading it. And so it's not just one job that you're going to do, it's plenty of them. And even if you do manage to scale up and delegate some of your responsibilities to other people, then you have to manage your team. You have to manage the people that you hire. You have to manage your managers. You have to ensure that your team is always happy, and you're still going to be responsible for the overall strategic direction of the organization. And this means that you're probably not going to be able to just up and leave in the middle of the day and spend the following 3 months just traveling around. And of course, if you own your own business, you're much more in control about what you do, how you do it, and how much you can earn. But that doesn't necessarily equate to freedom of time and place. If anything, self-employed people are known to work more than their counterparts in a 9-to-5 job. This is because of the level of responsibility that you have when you're suddenly the leader of a business, rather than just fulfilling one role. The reality is that self-employment in building the business is not going to be a good idea for everyone, and that is fine. In his book called The E-Myth Revisited, Michael E. Gerber talks about the 3 main roles that a business owner will need to fulfill. He talks about the technician, the manager, and the entrepreneur. The technician is the person that works in the business. In a bakery, that will be the person baking the cakes and making the bread. They are the person on the floor doing the work. The second role is the role of the manager, and the manager is the person that sets up the processes and the procedures so that the operations of the business run smoothly. They manage the teams, and they essentially take care of the systems. And then the third role is the role of the entrepreneur, and this is the role of the dreamer, the strategist, the creative mind that is excited about the future and thinks about what's next. They have the finger on the pulse of the market. They basically bring the innovation in an organization. So if you plan to create and build a business, especially if it's going to be just you on your own at the beginning, you have to be ready to adopt all 3 of those roles if you want to be successful. However, what I think has happened to many people who left their jobs in 2020 is that they were technicians and they said, I really love doing the thing that I'm doing right now. I want to continue doing the things. I want to continue baking the pies, but I want to do it for my own business. And inevitably, when you're doing things on your own, you're not just baking the pies. You have to do all the other things that those 2 other roles are also responsible for. The general administration of the business, the finances, HR responsibilities, hiring people, forecasting the financials, creating new offers, selling them, making sure that you're finding new clients, cultivating relationships with your current clients, and putting together the strategies that will make your business grow. So I think now many people are realizing, I don't want to manage a big team of people, and I don't want to be a strategist. I just want to work on my craft and be paid for it. So if you identify yourself with the technician and you're unhappy at your current 9-to-5, but you don't want to also take on the responsibilities of a manager and an entrepreneur, probably the best thing for you to do is just to find another job with a better work environment. If you love baking cakes, find a bakery that will treat you better, rather than founding your own bakery and then having a terrible time managing it. Also, do keep in mind that if you leave your 9-to-5 and you step into self-employment, all your benefits disappear. Paid holiday leave, paid maternity leave, paid sick leave, pension contributions, Secret Santa, all of that goes away, along with also HR support, mentorship, line management, growth opportunities, all the good things that come from the 9-to-5 that are often overlooked or not talked about enough, they go away once you quit. And then you're going to be the person responsible for contributing towards your pension, contributing towards your future, paying your taxes, and managing your own leave. And also, and forgive me if this is a little bit of an obvious thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, owning a business is expensive. The income that you get is not like the net salary that you receive from your employer. You will have to buy your own computer, purchase your own software subscriptions, cover all of your travel expenses. Basically, you're going to have to pay for all the business costs that come along with being self-employed. Whereas if you were an employee, your employer would be the person responsible for providing a Wi-Fi connection for you, getting your computer, and providing you with all the tools that you need to do your job. This is why it really bugs me when the creators online only talk about income. Income is only a small slice of the big picture. Income means nothing if you don't also show the expenses that you are incurring as part of leading your business. The profit, which is the difference between the income and the business expenses, is the true income of self-employed people. And then you're going to have to pay taxes on that, and then you get to keep whatever is left. So to me, it means nothing when creators online say, oh, I had a 10K month. Sure, maybe the income that you received was 10 grand, but how much did you spend? How much did you spend on your launch? How much do you spend every month to pay your team, pay yourself, and pay all of your business expenses. And also, I think that many people are slowly returning to 9-to-5 jobs because once you start a business, you pretty much only think about that. Your brain doesn't really log off at 5 p.m. once your office hours end. For me, and I suspect that this is true for most business owners, you're always kind of thinking about your business. You're thinking about what your next offer might be. You're questioning whether what you're doing is right. You go over your mistakes. You're thinking about the strategy that you're adopting and whether that is going to lead you where you want to go. There's always something going on in here. I always find myself thinking about my business. Now, for me, this is something that I don't mind. I quit my job in April 2024, and I've been very happy with this decision so far. But of course, this is not the kind of pressure that many people cope well with. If you're one of those people who are actually really happy with an office job, but are feeling that kind of pressure to leave it just because so many people out there are saying that having a 9-to-5 job is for losers, I hear you. You're fine. I actually think that if you find the right employer and if you find a place to work that has the right organizational culture for you, you can actually be incredibly happy in a 9-to-5 job. I myself was very happy at my job. I was lucky to always have worked in really wonderful organizations. And actually everything that I've learned that I'm now using in my own business, I have learned through those jobs. You don't need to quit your 9-to-5 to be happy and have a fulfilling life. So if you feel a really strong instinct within you to quit your job and start a business, and if you're happy to accept all the different responsibilities and roles that you will need to cover as a business owner, then go ahead. This might as well be the best thing that you ever do. However, if you expect self-employment to be a solution to being burnt out and unhappy, I suggest you carefully consider whether leaving your job to become self-employed is actually the right choice. What you may need is just a change of environment. If you're unsure whether you should or shouldn't leave your 9-to-5, I suggest doing what most people do, which is also what I did. What is my current business used to be my side hustle. I started doing freelance work on the side of my 9-to-5 job about 10 years ago, and I treated it as just an extra income source. But then as I grew in my career and I started to really get a reputation as a freelancer, more and more clients started coming to me, and I had a taste of what it really meant to do my own thing. And then when I knew through careful financial forecasting that I could actually sustain myself without having to work a 9-to-5, that's when I took the decision to quit my job. I would love to know if you're also fed up with the narrative that you have to quit your job in order to be happy. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you're thinking about leaving your 9-to-5. And while you're at it, check out this video over here where I share everything that they don't say about making money through digital products. And it would really, really help me if you subscribed and you hit the like button. I'll see you at the next one. Bye.